Shag and Mullet Metamorphosis. This is the collaboration of the modern Shag and Mullet. And here are the zones and the breakdown. Okay, let's get right to the sectioning over here. We're going to start sectioning out that top section right around the parietal ridge area. We're going to take that right to the top of the head and create a rectangular section. You can use the comb, lay it right on the side, and you'll find that parietal ridge. And we want to practice clean, grooming, neat sections. It'll be much easier to work within each zone, which in each section, when everything is sectioned nice and clean. And then we're going to take that corner of that top and we're going to take it right to behind the ear, and we're going to pin out the sides. Now, if they have fine hair, then you could even go even thicker section on the side. Take that section a little further back behind the ear. And now we are taking this right to the back, and we want to basically separate that back section in half around 3 inches from the hairline. Again, this really depends on the density of the hair. If they have fine hair, then you want to take this section higher and go about halfway, which I would probably suggest for sure. It's a little safer, but this is the perimeter, this is the length. We're going to section that off right now, and then we are going to work on this last section, which was actually zone 2. But first we got to get this crescent section in the top. This is a merging section. So let's get that out of the way. You'll see a little crescent moon section right there. Now we are set with our last section. Now let's just section it out of the way so you can see all the zones again. So this is what it should look like. Fantastic. Now let's begin. There's my brand new Acro Mitsutani shears. I'm just getting used to them. Very nice shear though. Okay, so we are taking a central vertical section from this mid back. This is zone 2. You'll see on your PDFs as well. We're going to take that straight out. We want to create a triangular cutting line. Central vertical section. We are creating graduation to build some weight. But we also want to create a really cool silhouette feel. So here's that shape again. Central vertical section, triangular cutting line. And now we're going to take another vertical section and we're going to over direct that just to the previous section right now. And just follow that triangular cutting guide. Over directing to the previous. There you go. Once you get to the round of the head, I would over direct that all the way to the center. All the way to the center at this point. Triangular cutting line again. And last section, over directed all the way. And here you go. You can see that nice bevel starting to happen right there. Now we're going to do the same on the opposite side. The only difference is you'll see the teeth of my comb is going to get pushed to the direction, is facing the direction we are pushing the hair. So we're over directing it to the center, to the previous. And now the next section, we're over directing it to the previous. We're going to continue doing the same exact process until we get to the round of the head and we are over directing it all the way to the center. You want to create a little more length on that round of the head as we tie into those sides. So we're going to over direct all the way over. Last section, I believe. Yep. Not much to cut right there, but we continue the same process, and here we go. Last section, over directing all the way. And again, if they have fine hair, you could stop at the round of the head. And you can see how the shape is starting to take place already. Now we are going to work on that length a little bit. I like to do just some twisting of the hair, creating a soft guide using my razor, surface cutting the razor. So what I'll do is I'll twist the length, that desired length that I want, and then just take my razor and just surface cut the top of it until I get to the desired length I'm looking for. I think somewhere around here for her is going to be great. She has a little finer hair, so I'm taking it a little shorter right there, but you can keep this as long as you want depending on what type of mullet. Okay, now we are getting into the sides. We need to merge the back to the sides. We are going to take essential vertical sections. We're going to take from our previous cut section and our new section from the sides. We are going to over direct this first one to behind the ear. And then you'll notice as I lift, the elbow comes up and your fingers, you can see that guide right there. That's what we're going to use our guide. My fingers are pointing straight down. So I'm able to grab that guide from the back and slide cut to the top. This will give me the best, easiest way to blend. So fingers all the way towards the scalp, and I'm slide cutting or scooping. And now I'm working toward the hairline. We're traveling towards the hairline. So we're creating that layering right at that top of that parietal ridge. It's gonna have that nice shape you can start seeing right there. I'm just gonna double check it all, make sure I got everything I need. Take that a little bit shorter there at that parietal ridge. We'll work on the length after on the sides, no worries. We just wanna merge the sides. Okay, same exact process on the opposite side. We're gonna take the previous cut hair from behind the ear. We're gonna take the new hair. We've got vertical section, straight lift, straight up from the head, elbow up, fingers pointed towards the scalp, and slide cutting from your guide all the way to the top. See that? Elbow up, and I'm just scooping or slide cutting. And now I'm working towards the hairline, same exact process. Straight up, elbow up, fingers pointed down, sliding up. And there you go. Done. So now we have the shape in there. Let's work on that length a little bit. You can see how the shape is really starting to take place though now. All right, we're grabbing the razor. I'm going to use my guide from the back that we already razored, and I'm just going to twist it right into the sides and tie it right in right now. And this will get rid of, it creates some balance, get rid of some heaviness that we want on that sides. You could really take that side as short or long as you want. Okay, you guys, zone 4, transition zone. This is the crescent section. Crescent section right here. This is our merging from the back to the top. We are using essential vertical section. You can see the guide right from underneath that zone 2. That's what we're going to use as our guide. You can see that little, yep, I'm grabbing that hair from the bottom, and we're going to create a round or triangular cutting line. And that is a stationary guide. Everything will be over directed to the center, and we're going to continue cutting all that hair off. We're going to create that pop and that bevel, and this is going to help us merge right into the top section. And there you go right there. You see that? All right, same thing on the opposite side, except the difference is you'll see my comb change. It's going to be, the teeth will be facing towards the center, towards the area I would like to push the hair to. So there you go. We're going to lift it straight off the head. We're going to find our guide, and we're going to cut that triangular or round cutting line, stationary guide. See, now we're going to comb it all in. All right, you guys, time for the top zone. So what we're going to do is make sure it's saturated enough. You'll see me saturate the hair the same consistency from the beginning of the haircut to the end. Okay, now we're going to grab that guide from that crescent section we just cut, take a horizontal section, and comb it right into that top section. That will be our guide. And we will be using pivot point cutting. You'll see this on your PDFs as well. But first we're going to start with a central vertical section. We're going to use the guide from where we just left off at the top crown area. That's our guide. And we are going to follow the head shape and just cut a contour line all the way to and through the hairline. Lots of hairs coming off, and this is how we do it. So we're creating our guide for the top using the guide from zone 4. Okay, so now we're bringing in pivot point sectioning right here. This is huge. This will create consistency. So now we're going to take little pie sections. We're going to over direct those pie sections to the previous section. So I'm over directing this pie section to the center where we just cut, Now I'm following that guide all the way through the hairline, following the shape of her head. So I'd like to say the contour. And there you go. So now we're grabbing another pie shape. And we are going to comb that to the previous cut section. Find your guide. There it is. And we are going to cut. And we are going to continue cutting again. Follow through right to the hairline. Our last pie section, we're just going to grab the rest of the hair. We are over directing it to the previous again and cutting to the contour of her head until there's no more hair to cut. Bam. That section's done. Time for the opposite side. All right, we are going to take our next pie section. We are going to lift it straight up from the head. This time I'm over directing again to the previous cut section and following the contour of her head. Just take your time when you're doing this. You will get great consistency when you use pivot point cutting and you get used to this. This is a great way to create balance within that top area. So another pivot section, I'm pushing the hair into the previous, using the teeth facing the direction I would like to push that hair. And we're going to continue just working in a methodical manner. Another pie section. And everything comes from that one point at the top of the crown, that middle top. That's why it's called pivot point. We're focusing on one point to create balance throughout the entire zone. So again, pushing it to the previous cut hair, pie sections. I think this is the last of it right here. Over directing to the previous and cutting. Okay, so now I'd like to do a little bit of point cutting here and cross-checking. And a great way to do it is to take horizontal sections starting from that top crown and just point cut. That's going to break up that area even more. You could do this as much as the hair is asking for it. If they have a ton of hair or you just want to create a little more pop in that area, you could dive into that point cutting even more. I'm just doing it to create balance. And another way is to slide cut. So I'd like to kind of just bring my shear in and like scoop or slide cut anything that's heavy out of there. Take the rest of it, check for balance, clean it up, done. All right, you guys, time to take care of the fringe. Okay, what we're gonna do is create a central vertical line, and now lay your comb right on that fringe, right on the top of the head. You could work from the highest point right to the corner of each eye and then separate it. So this is our fringe zone. We're gonna create a little curtain fringe hair with her. We're gonna be working side to side using diagonal sections. So you'll see my fingers are held straight upwards when I'm on the left side and the right side. And I am staying right in the center of her nose for balance every time. I'm going to take another diagonal section. We're going to bring it right to the nose, but this time we're going to elevate a little bit to create a little bit of graduation on the perimeter. We're going to continue working in those diagonal sections, lifting, bringing it right to the nose, the center. By lifting it, again, we're creating a little bit of a bevel, a little bit of graduation. You can see it's going to push nicely away from the face. Now you could take that front as short or as long as you'd like. I didn't want to go too short on her. I just wanted to show that it blends right in. Then here's another approach to do it if you want to remove more heaviness. I take that fringe, central vertical section, stationary guide, and I'm just going to point cut any of that heaviness there. Over directing to the center, point cut, slide cutting, and removing that heaviness right in that middle zone there. Yep, you can start seeing it come alive. Okay. Okay, let's try to blend in a little bit from that back graduated zone right into the length. I like to take vertical sections, and you'll see the scissors just continuously moving through that surface. I just want to create a little bit more balance, just a little bit blending. It will be still disconnected, but it's just going to take that harshness off. And you can just see that nice beveled silhouette that's happening. All right, now it is time to style. I like to use a little blow dry spray for some volume and a little bit of shine drops from Goldwell Just Smooth. I love this. Now I'm just going to take my Denman brush and I just want to work around the head. I want to collapse some of that root a little bit, any of that curl pattern. Just smooth it out with a nice little wrap dry, a little bit of tension with it, just to show you how this shape is starting to come alive. You start drying it a little bit, you really start seeing this mullety shag start happening. And when you're working that back, you could use a little bit of tension with the blow dryer and the brush. Now I'm bringing the brush in, create a little more tension. This will create a little smoother look too. Get a little bit of volume and shine. You can see how the shape is definitely starting to come alive as this is drying. Really love this shape. You know, depending on the lengths that you choose for each zone, you could really turn this into just a killer shag or a super mullet as well, fashion mullet. So this is totally up to you, the direction that you want to go. You have the tools, you have the map, you have the foundation to create whatever type of shag mullet you want within this. And again, it's just a beautiful shape. I can't wait for you guys to try this. And don't forget to use your printable PDFs that you have, download and print out so you have it right at your fingertips. Now I'd like to use a little bit of a cool shot and just calm down the hair from the drying a little bit. This already will create a little more shape too. A little flattering. Another key is when you're doing the back, that graduation to the disconnect, you could take a little bit of that top area and a little bit of the length in the back, put it together and just do a nice little smoothing flat iron, and it'll just kind of blend in beautifully. Even though it's disconnected, it'll just create that awesome shape. And then I'll go right in from the top, and anything that I see that's a little heavy, I'm just going to work on the surface and work through those areas. Anything that you see, this is like the jam session right here. Anything you want to go for, this is where you tweak it out, customize it, and detail it for your client. And here you go, guys. I hope you love the Shullet.